Part 22. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 211. No, you don't understand the meaning of the 4 words Chongtong Invincible. What it represents is always the path you have taken, not chasing after others. You do all this blindly, and your goal is always to become the first generation. To put it bluntly, you are just a substitute. But, in this process, you have completely lost yourself and forgotten how to be yourself. It's really sad and lamentable. The great Emperor Jimmy shook his head and laughed. These words kept coming into the mind of the Chongtong Emperor. Suddenly, he seemed to see a ball of light. He wanted to catch it but found that he couldn't catch it anyway. At this moment, a sentence from the first time he saw Li Bai emerged in his mind. Chongtong, remember, yourself. Boom. This ball of light spread in the depths of the Chongtong Emperor's heart, dispelling the thick and dark haze that had enveloped him. He seemed to really understand the meaning of this sentence. For eternity, I have always taken the first generation as the core to catch up, but I and the first generation of Chongtong Emperor are always 2 different life forms. I can never become him, and the first generation can never represent me. Alas, forget it, let you fall, don't insult the word Chongtong. But before that, I want you to kneel down and repent. After the Emperor of Jimmy finished speaking, he burst out with all his might and rushed towards the Chongtong Emperor. The might that was enough to crush the laws of the universe was so terrifying that it rushed towards the Chongtong Emperor. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out again, and the face of the Chongtong Emperor became extremely pale, and the bones of his body continued to break. No, I can't kneel, absolutely not, Chongtong is invincible, I will never humiliate him. The Chongtong Emperor roared, although most of his bones and muscles were broken, but his spine and his knees could never bend, even if he died, he must die standing. Really? Then let me see how tough you are. After saying that, his might increased again. Puff! Blood gushed out again. At this moment, the blood in the body of the Emperor Chongtong was almost dried up. Just when he was about to reach a certain limit, the Emperor Chongtong made a sound in his heart, like a cracked eggshell. Ah! Boom! A scene that shocked countless creatures and emperors happened. At this moment, the Emperor Chongtong exuded endless mythical power. The mythical aura was like a shocking wave, sweeping across the vast universe. The hole pierced in his body also broke the seal of a certain power and healed quickly. The Chongtong, which had disappeared before, returned again. This time, the Chongtong Emperor's Chongtong seemed to have evolved. To be precise, it was the Chongtong Emperor's Chongtong. The Chongtong opened and closed, the meaning of life and death continued to flow, and the ancient and vast chaotic aura continued to pour out. Give me, break it! Accompanied by the roar of the Emperor of Double Pupils. An invincible power directly offset the terrifying power of the Emperor of Silence. The Emperor of Double Pupils, with black hair flying, each strand of hair gleaming with crystal clear divine light, with every step he took, the void continued to collapse and shatter, and the creatures in the void seemed to really see the first generation of Double Pupils in a trance. Myth, Double Pupils, break through the myth. So awesome. It seems that it should be Nirvana rebirth, presumably, Double Pupils has finally realized his heart. Ha ha ha, in this way, the number of myth emperors in our fairyland is exactly 1 more than their outer domain. The Emperor of Nothingness and others who are still fighting also felt the breath of the top of the myth. Countless creatures who believed in the Emperor of Double Pupils were also excited with tears in their eyes, beating their feet and stamping their chests. They didn't expect that at the moment of life and death, the Emperor of Double Pupils actually broke through to the realm of mythology. However, after the excitement, they were still sad, because even if he was a myth, he might not really be able to beat the Emperor of Destruction. Then, the Emperor of Double Pupils, who exuded an invincible momentum, slowly walked in front of the Emperor of Destruction. At this moment, he had completed the transformation. He was himself and no longer needed to catch up. The first generation of the Emperor of Double Pupils had his own invincible path. However, at this moment, in the mind of the Emperor of Destruction, a burst of words came, and the voice was so familiar that it was engraved into his blood, making his turbid eyes full of tears. Destruction, I thank you here. Thank you for letting this child be himself again. Old friend, is it really you? Hurry, answer me. The Emperor of Destruction kept roaring and shouting in his mind. Then, a figure appeared in the inner universe of the Emperor of Destruction. Haha, long time no see, Jimmy. This figure is the first generation double pupil Emperor, the nemesis that Jimmy wanted to defeat all his life. Old friend, you. At this moment, Jimmy was a little out of control. This is just a wisp of soul that I left in that child's heart. You, don't have to be like this. The voice of the first generation double pupil Emperor was very gentle, making people feel like spring breeze. There was no majesty of the invincible double pupil, and he was a little similar to the Green Emperor. Old friend, have you really fallen? The Jimmy Emperor calmed his heart and asked hurriedly. You already have the answer, but you just don't believe it. The first generation double pupil Emperor said with a smile. Hearing this, the killing intent that was enough to wipe out all the creatures in the heavenly immortal realm suddenly burst out, and the eyes of the Emperor Jimmy were bloodshot. Although the first generation of the Emperor with double pupils had always been his nightmare, he also developed different feelings for the Emperor with double pupils in the battles of so many epochs. The two were enemies, but they were more like brothers and sisters in friendship. Friendship, this unfamiliar word, seemed to be precious to creatures like them. Who is it? Tell me who it is. Even if I lose my life, I will avenge you, only I can kill you, only me. The Emperor Jimmy was like the incarnation of the source of hatred at this moment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 212. Seeing Jimmy's appearance, the Emperor Chongtong smiled slightly, and then slowly said, Jimmy, this is what I owe them, mother and son. I don't regret it, and you don't need to be sad for me. After all, I have completed my last responsibility. Responsibility? You know nothing. Your responsibility is to be with me. Wait, you just said, mother and son. What mother and son? Are you kidding me again? The Emperor Jimmy said with wide eyes in surprise. You heard it right, I'm not kidding you either. The first generation said affirmatively. After a long time. Your wife? Why, I have never heard you say that you secretly carried me behind my back. She is a creature in that area, and she is also one of the 10 goddesses. Before the Emperor Jimmy finished speaking, he was interrupted by the first generation. According to Jimmy's character, the following words must be lewd. That area. That is, the place where I fell, the ultimate place. This, how is it possible, the ultimate place, didn't it disappear in that battle of origin? The Emperor Jimmy said in disbelief. That's right, but it doesn't mean that the original race that created the ultimate land has also disappeared. The race that created the ultimate land, that. I don't know too much, I can only say that they are the origin, race. The first generation of the double pupil Emperor sighed and said slowly, his tone full of powerlessness. Origin, damn it, old friend, do you know what you are talking about? You actually hooked up with their goddess, you are so awesome. The Emperor of Destruction, at this moment, didn't know what to say, and could only use awesome to describe the first generation. By the way, what kind of place is that? How did you fall there, and how did the living beings get there? The Emperor of Destruction came directly with a 3-combo question. When you come into contact with him in the future, you will know. I believe that day will not be far away. As for why I fell, it is because of the responsibility and guilt I mentioned before. As for the remaining two questions, you can ask the Green Emperor, but with his personality, he will not tell you, a foreigner. The Emperor of Chongtong said slowly. What's the difference between what you said and what you didn't say? The Emperor of Jimmy was speechless. Of course, there is another adult. Who? What do you think? There is probably only one person in the world who can be honored as an adult by me, right? Damn, you don't want me to ask Li Bai, do you? The Emperor of Jimmy swallowed his saliva and said in panic. Of course. No, 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 absolutely not, I'm scared, you know how terrifying he is, I will be very miserable. The Emperor of Jimmy shook his head frantically. This behavior is tantamount to seeking death. Don't worry, there is a way, I will inform you in advance. Then, the Emperor Chongtong told the method to the Emperor Jimmy. Are you sure, can you do it? The Emperor Jimmy said suspiciously. Of course, after all, you and I are friends for countless epochs. This time, the war between the two worlds will definitely wipe out the outside world. I am also saving you. The Emperor Chongtong said slowly. He couldn't bear to see the Emperor Jimmy fall like this. After all, he had never done anything to infringe on the creatures of the fairyland, except for himself. Okay, I'll try it later. By the way, back to the previous question, what about the son? Haven't you seen him? The first generation of the Emperor Chongtong said with a smile. I have seen him. What are you kidding, how could I have seen him? The Emperor Jimmy said disdainfully. Just now, didn't you see him, and beat him up? Just now, wait, the first generation, wouldn't it be that kid? The Emperor Jimmy looked like, I don't read much, don't lie to me. Let me calm down first. After getting the affirmative answer from the first emperor with double pupils, the Silence Emperor felt like the sky had collapsed. At this moment, he finally understood why the first emperor with double pupils thanked him at the beginning. I originally thought that the double pupils were inherited from the heavenly Dao of the immortal realm, but I didn't expect it to be like this. The Silence Emperor said with a wry smile that he and the double pupils were really destined to be together in this life. Silence, I hope you can keep this a secret for me. Why? Because of his mother. The first emperor said solemnly. So that's it, I understand, those races are all the same, they can't stand the blood flowing out. The Silence Emperor instantly understood the meaning of the sentence. Old friend, I can hide it for you, but his own blood, if I guess correctly, the origin blood in his body should not have awakened yet. If one day, this blood awakens, that race should. Emperor Jimmy said cryptically. This matter can only rely on him, this is all I can do for him. This kid, he always regarded me as his target, so he completely lost himself on the road. But, I can't show up. Fortunately, I met you. The first generation Emperor of Double Eyes slowly said that at this moment, he was completely a father who cared about his children. Okay, the time for my last ray of soul is coming soon. I hope to see you again next time. Although I also know that this is almost impossible, I still look forward to this day's arrival. Finally, please take care of my son. Treasure. After saying the last request as a father, the figure of the first generation double-eyed emperor slowly disappeared. Hey, old friend, I still have many things I haven't asked you yet. The Emperor of Annihilation kept shouting in the inner universe, and the only thing that responded to him was cold silence. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 213. At this moment, outside, Emperor Chongtong looked at Emperor Jimmy, who was stunned and excited, and felt awe. But he didn't think too much about it. Then, he slowly walked to the front of Emperor Jimmy, and said respectfully, like a student, "Chongtong, thank you for the guidance of Senior Jimmy. If there is no such guidance from the senior, the junior may never be able to be himself again. This, haha, there is no need to be like this. This is also your good fortune. What I did was just to humiliate you and kill you. Everything is your own credit." Although Emperor Jimmy's words were full of disdain and coldness, his eyes flashed a trace of kindness and doting appeared on his face, and he muttered to himself in his heart, "Damn it, why didn't I realize before that these eyes are exactly the same as my old friend's? This kid is so handsome, I guess his mother must be extremely beautiful. My old friend, I really envy you." The Emperor of Double Pupils also caught that ray of kindness, and couldn't help but feel extremely puzzled. This look, as if seeing his own offspring, is the kind that only exists between family members. That being said, Senior, please accept this bow from the junior, otherwise, I will not be at peace. The Emperor of Double Pupils didn't think much about it. Maybe it was just because of his relationship with the first-generation Emperor of Double Pupils, and he loved the whole family. Well, in that case, I will accept it. In a sense, I am also his godfather. Senior, if that's the case, please continue to fight. Oh, you have the courage to break through to the myth, or do you feel that you can fight me? Emperor Jimmy said contemptuously. This is the path I chose myself, I don't regret it, but unfortunately, if it weren't for the war between the two worlds, I would definitely visit you and discuss the great things of the world with you over wine and tea. Okay, then I will do as you wish, and at the same time, I hope you don't forget your promise. Then, Emperor Jimmy and Emperor Chongtong started a new round of battle. This time, facing the tricks of Emperor Jimmy before, Emperor Chongtong could easily resist and eliminate them. However, as time went by, Emperor Chongtong discovered a little clue. He found that Emperor Jimmy seemed to deliberately retain his strength, and every trick he made was like a carefully designed one, always one step away from his limit. The Emperor of Double Pupils is awesome. After breaking through to the myth, he actually fought back and forth with the Emperor of Destruction. Could it be that the feat of the first Emperor of Double Pupils is about to happen today? I always feel that something is wrong, as if the Emperor of Destruction can hold back. Indeed, I can feel it too. At this moment, the Emperor of Double Pupils was a little angry. He hated the feeling of being let down by the opponent. Although he knew that the possibility of defeating the Emperor of Destruction was only 1 in 10 million, he did not want to have any regrets. Even if he died, he could accept it. Senior, please don't insult me, please don't hold back, use all your strength. You will die. I don't regret it. After a long time, the Emperor of Destruction said to the Emperor of Double Pupils with a smile. Okay, I admit defeat, you won this battle. This sentence spread throughout the heavens and the entire vast universe. Give up, that Emperor Jimmy, actually gave up. How is this possible? Shouldn't such a creature be extremely proud? I don't know, but it's good news for us anyway. At this time, questioning and angry voices came from the outside world. Jimmy, what are you doing? Now is a war between the two worlds, don't you know? Hurry up, kill that Chongtong. Are you teaching me how to do things? Hearing this, Emperor Jimmy said contemptuously, since the ancient times, no one has ever dared to order him like this, not even the supreme of the outside world. The worst case is death. You, Jimmy, what do you mean? Jimmy, I know your past, and I know your goal, but now is not a joke. Quickly kill Chongtong, otherwise there will be endless troubles. However, this time, Emperor Jimmy turned a blind eye to these voices. Senior, why? I don't need such a victory. Emperor Chongtong said with great doubt. You are much stronger than my peers, I admit that you are qualified to control this double pupil. Besides, I have something to do now, something very important. One thing? Senior, I wonder what you want to do. Can I help? The great Emperor Jimmy ignored the words of the Emperor Chongtong, turned to face the direction of the fairyland and said. Sir, I have a humble request. Can you show up and tell me? Hearing this, not only the fairyland, but also the creatures in the outside world are extremely confused. They don't understand what the great Emperor Jimmy is going to do. Jimmy, what are you doing? Hurry up, kill Chongtong for me, I don't want to say it a second time. What are you doing with your chattering? If you don't speak, no one will think you are dumb. Li Bai's voice came out slowly, and then Li Bai actually showed up. Interesting, you are a person from the outside world, but you actually beg me. I am very curious. Speak. Li Bai stared at the Emperor of Silence and said lightly. My lord, please look. When the words fell, the Emperor of Silence directly inserted his hand into his heart. In an instant, a stream of bright red mixed with black blood gushed out. Ah! The Emperor of Silence looked extremely pale. He endured the pain that went deep into his soul and dug with his right hand. In an instant, a ball of Black Emperor's origin slowly appeared in his hand, and the original filthy power continued to spread outward. At this moment, Li Bai gradually understood what the Emperor of Silence meant. A smile appeared unconsciously at the corner of his mouth. He did not expect that an emperor who had already touched the supreme threshold would actually be willing to do so. Afterwards, the realm of the Emperor of Silence gradually began to fall, from the peak myth, immortal, in the end, he fell directly to a mortal without any cultivation. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 214. Senior. The Chongtong Emperor roared angrily. He didn't understand why the great Emperor of Annihilation did this. This was the origin of the great Emperor. This was everything he had obtained after practicing for several epochs. Why did he have to take it out with his own hands? Countless creatures were also startled. What the hell are you doing? Are you going to kill yourself? I really don't understand anymore. Oh, the brain circuits of these creatures are really hard to figure out. It turns out that from myth to mortal, it only takes a few seconds. Sir, ahem, please watch. Emperor Annihilation stared at the origin of the Emperor in his hand, and then prepared to crush it directly. Nirvana. Stop it. Nirvana, you're humming crazy, aren't you? No, you can't crush it, you can't. Seeing this scene, countless great emperors from the outside world rushed directly towards the great Emperor Naimi. Although they didn't understand why Naimi would do such a thing, they knew that they must not let Naimi crush the Emperor's origin. Nixie can die, but this ball of great Emperor origin cannot. It contains all of Nixie's moves, combat experience, etc. Hey, where is your mother? Did I let you run away? You dead dog, get out of here, otherwise, I will make you into dog meat soup. Ouch, I'm so scared, dead fish, let's kill him. I'm the humming Teku dragon carp. These great emperors from the outer realm have all been blocked by the great emperor from the fairy realm. They like to do this kind of thing the most. At this moment, Supreme from the Outland finally couldn't help but said. Nirvana, do you want to betray the Outland? Do you know the consequences of doing so? Haha, consequences, I said, no one can teach me how to do things, are you humming deaf? Emperor Nirvana said to Supreme. Haha, okay, you can betray, but the origin of the Emperor must stay, and at the same time, you must die. After finishing speaking, this supreme giant waved his hand and headed straight towards the Emperor of Annihilation. If this palm landed on the mainland of the Immortal Realm, it could directly restart the Immortal Realm era. This is truly the supreme power. Amitabha, donor, your opponent is me. In an instant, the great sun Tathagata blocked the path of the supreme outer realm. Then he thrust out a palm, and the golden palm print directly collided with the supreme outer realm's palm print, causing an explosion that shook the world. Damn bald donkey, don't humming stop me, otherwise, you won't have enough juice to eat. The supreme being of the outer domain looked at the great sun Tathagata standing in front of him and said viciously, "Donor, you are too murderous and need to be purified. Have you killed fewer people than me? What the poor monk killed were the evil creatures. They have destroyed the balance of all things, so they should be killed. Okay, I'll kill you first." Immediately, the two supremes directly reopened a space to fight. On the other side, in the eyes of Emperor Nirvana, there was no hesitation in the eyes and he squeezed it with his big hand. Boom! This group of emperors directly turned into nothingness. In an instant, countless rays of light scattered in the vast universe, like fallen leaves returning to their roots, absorbing and feeding back to the heavens. All the moves of the Emperor of Annihilation in this life turned into nothingness and became a history that cannot be inherited. Then, he took out a bloody and filthy seed from the heart. This was their only symbol as people from the outside world. Under the gaze of countless creatures, this filthy seed gradually turned into powder. "Senior, why are you doing this?" Emperor Changtong asked incomprehensibly. The Emperor of Annihilation did not answer, but kept looking at Li Bai silently. He was betting that what the first generation said was true. At this moment, a burst of words came from Li Bai's mind. It was the words of the first generation Changtong Emperor. "Changtong, do you still hate me? You hated me for stopping you from going to the ultimate land for the first time." Li Bai said slowly. "Sir, Changtong has never hated you. I only hate myself for not having the strength. I'm sorry, Huaxi." Emperor Kongtong's voice came again. "Don't worry, Huaxi is doing well within that race now, but she is imprisoned and has no freedom. Well, if it wasn't for the purpose of sending little Changtong out, Huaxi. Do you want to really meet your son face to face?" "Sir, what do you mean by this?" "Literal meaning. Sir, you also know that there is no solution to my current situation. It will be there soon." After finishing speaking, Li Bai took the initiative to erase this ray of soul of the first generation Kongpu Emperor. Then, looking at Emperor Annihilation, he said slowly, "You have spent tens of millions of years, step by step, becoming a myth, and have even touched the threshold of the Supreme. Now, just throw it away, don't you regret it?" Upon hearing this, Emperor Annihilation slowly shook his head and said, "Sir, I have never regretted it. Everything I have done in my life was just to defeat the first generation. Now that he has fallen, what is the use of my cultivation? What's more, now, I only have one last wish." After saying that, the Emperor of Annihilation glanced at the Emperor with double eyes. "Yes, the first generation can have a close friend like you, which is worthy of this life. That's all. If that's the case, I'll make it happen for you." Li Bai sighed and said slowly, "Really, is it, sir?" Emperor Jimmy said in disbelief, "I have never regretted what I said." After saying that, Li Bai stretched out his hand to Emperor Jimmy and flicked it lightly. In an instant, a seed shining with fairy light and containing a strong fairy land will gradually took root and sprouted in the heart of Emperor Jimmy. At this moment, it also means that Emperor Jimmy is a person of the fairy land from now on. Damn, what happened? Why do I feel that Emperor Jimmy seems to be a person of our fairy land? I have the same feeling, his breath seems to be the same as ours. At this moment, in the crack in the vast universe, Seed of the immortal realm. I didn't expect that Li Bai could actually possess such a thing. It seems that the heavenly Dao or heavenly clan of the immortal realm trusts Li Bai very much and has given him control of this thing. Haha, the heavenly clan and the heavenly Dao are not so stupid. They just want to bind Li Bai to the immortal realm. Although it is humiliating, it is indeed very useful. On the other side, countless emperors from the outer realms, after feeling the hostility from the Emperor Jimmy, criticized him. Jimmy, you actually betrayed the outer realm, not only that, but you also joined the immortal realm. It's so shameless. Jimmy, you deserve to die. Oh, you guys are good at talking, it seems that we didn't do it too lightly. Dead fish, kill them, let them talk more. Okay, I am the ancient dragon carp. The emperors such as De Huang said hurriedly. Senior Jimmy, I don't understand why you. The Emperor Chongtong asked in great confusion. You will know in the future. I hope you won't blame the first generation when the time comes. Jimmy said with a sigh. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 215. Blame the first generation? Why should I blame the first generation? The doubts of the Emperor of Double Pupils became more and more intense. This speech made him confused. He had never seen the first generation of double pupils, and there was no cause and effect between them. However, the Emperor of Double Pupils was an invincible myth after all. Then, he felt that Jimmy and the first generation of double pupils were deliberately hiding something from him, and this matter had a great relationship with him. Sorry, I promised the first generation that I can't tell you about this. Maybe you will know it when you have a chance in the future. The Emperor of Jimmy closed the topic directly. He didn't know how to tell the Emperor of Double Pupils. Besides, even if he told him, the Emperor of Double Pupils probably wouldn't believe it. In the future again? Why do these people always hide things when they talk? The Emperor of Double Pupils said speechlessly in his heart. On the other side, Li Bai thought for a moment and said slowly. By the way, it would be a pity to throw away your emperor's origin just like that. No, sir, now I am very satisfied, I don't ask for anything else. The Emperor Jimmy said respectfully. At this moment, he was like an old man who was about to enter his old age. For the sake of your relationship with Chongtong, I will give you a chance today. The past body, come back. A ray of light flashed in Li Bai's eyes, and he waved his hand. In an instant, a most primitive force of time spread throughout the universe, causing the entire world to reincarnate. Then, under the witness of countless creatures, a colorful winding river flowed out, spanning the universe, without source, without end. And after this long river appeared, countless creatures felt unbelievable. What surprised them was not the long river of time itself. After all, as long as it was a myth, the long river of time could be summoned. The difference was just the phantom and the real. What really surprised them was that this long river of time gave them the feeling that it was yesterday, the past, and not the present. The long river of time. Li Bai, what are you going to do? Countless pairs of eyes in the dark said in confusion after seeing this scene. No, this long river, is the long river of time in the past. An ancient creature said in horror. The long river of time in the past? How is it possible? It's simply a fallacy. No, I will never sense it wrong. I swear on my life that this is the long river of time in the past. The long river of time is divided into three, one in the past, one in the present, and one in the future. And the three long rivers do not affect each other. Hearing such firm words, these big guys also fell into silence. After a long time. I didn't expect that Li Bai would have such a method. You know, even we can only summon the current river of time. Could it be, he has reached some kind of deal with the spirit of the river of time? This creature of the ancient clan, with a gleam in his eyes, constantly guessed the cause and effect behind it. Then, in the river of time, the river transformed by the power of time kept surging, and a figure stepped on the river of time and slowly walked out of it. With every step, the whole world was shaking. And after he appeared, the time of the entire universe seemed to be in chaos. The flow of time accelerated for a while, and the flow of time stopped for a while. The most terrifying thing was that they felt like they were back to the last second. Then, the face of this figure gradually appeared. Boom! In the hearts of countless creatures, it was like a meteorite falling, stirring up stormy waves. They couldn't believe their eyes. After seeing the true appearance of this figure again, the heavens and the worlds fell into a dead silence, because he was Li Bai. "How is it, did you get it?" Li Bai said lightly. "Don't worry, is there anything I can't get? What's more, it's just a great emperor's origin, which he crushed with his own hands. It is not restricted, and the supervisor can't control it." This Li Bai said lightly, and then directly threw out a ball of black great emperor's origin, which was the ball of origin that the great emperor Jimmy crushed before. "Okay, go back, you also know that you can't stay in this time and space for too long, otherwise, it will be a bit troublesome if you are monitored, at least it's tricky for me now." Li Bai, staring at the ball of great emperor's origin in his hand, said slowly. "Understood, I'll go first, call me if you have anything." "Well, good." After speaking, this Li Bai slowly stepped into the long river of time, and disappeared in front of all living beings along with the disappearance of the long river of time. No. Impossible, absolutely impossible, how could this group of emperors origin? Haha, I must be dazzled, this is definitely an illusion. This is more painful than killing me. These emperors from the outside world said in great horror, they would rather believe that this is an illusion than believe that this is true. Because, they have never seen such a method to bring back the disappeared things from the past, which is not in line with the laws of the universe at the beginning and the laws of the long river of time. Of course, even the emperors of the fairyland are the same. This scene completely subverted all their cognition, making them feel like a country bumpkin, a frog in the well. Am I dreaming, am I not? Quick, you dead dog, slap me. This dragon carp doesn't believe that something that goes against the truth of origin will happen. This method is too incredible. How can the past body appear in the present? This is a paradox. The whole time and space will be in chaos because of this. At this moment, the creatures of the ancient clan, the spirit clan, and the Ming clan were slightly surprised, but it was within their tolerance. After all, they have a certain tolerance for any abnormality of Li Bai. This matter is also reasonable and unexpected. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 216. Haha, it's Li Bai as expected. He has an unusual origin. As expected, he really can't be killed, he can only be imprisoned. It exists in both the past and the future, and it is also free from any laws, only when you really see it can you know how terrifying it is. Why such an anomaly appears, it is simply unimaginable. A creature from the ancient clan sighed and said, if it weren't for their ancient clan, they would never want to be Li Bai's enemy. It seems that darkness and the others did not lie. Fortunately, his past does not affect the present, otherwise, it would be really difficult. It's just that I still don't understand why he can bring things from the past. If this is true, not all the fallen creatures in the immortal realm can. An ancient creature said doubtfully. There should be some restrictions, otherwise, Li Bai would have done this long ago. You are wrong, it is not a restriction, it is supervision. Supervision? What supervision? Wait, could it be, the supervisor? An ancient creature thought of an extremely ancient name. Even some supreme beings don't know this name because it is too secret. No wonder. If it were them, it wouldn't be surprising why Li Bai didn't dare to do that. But, this supervisor is just a fabrication. He has never appeared even in the beginning of time. A spirit creature asked in confusion. Not appearing does not mean that it does not exist. Moreover, this matter is recognized by countless first-generation and primordial beings. The true existence of beings, even those in the darkness, are convinced of it. And those origin races also acquiesced in this matter. Forget it, this matter needs to be discussed. The most important thing for us at the moment is how to deal with Li Bai and take away the key in his hand. Then, Li Bai waved his hand, and this ball of the Emperor's origin spanned ancient and modern times and sank directly into the body of the Nirvana Emperor. Boom! Emperor Nirvana's body is constantly rumbling. Immediately afterwards, endless spiritual power continued to pour into his body. At this moment, the realm is constantly rising, saint, god king, quasi-emperor, immortal, myth. Finally, after a wisp of supreme power emerges from the body of the Nirvana Emperor, successfully restored to its original state. Restored, state, actually restored. I still think that I am dreaming, and this dream also involves pain. Yes, it must be like this. Yes, I think so too. This is simply outrageous. I must be rewarding myself too much. At this moment, Emperor Annihilation's face was full of confusion. Who am I, where am I, and what am I going to do? After a long time, after I truly felt that all this was not illusion and my true state, I asked hesitantly. Sir, this. No need to make a fuss, this is just a small trick. Li Bai said lightly. Hearing these words, countless immortal emperors rolled their eyes. As expected of the master, you are so pretentious, I don't know how to do this. Sir, how many incredible tricks does he have? Haha, you are indeed a close friend. No, I feel like I don't deserve it anymore. Is this your true strength? This time, all the great emperors of the immortal realm also had a subversive understanding of Li Bai. Countless creatures felt that Li Bai was just playing around in the previous battle of Emperor Luo. If he really takes it seriously, he will destroy the Dao of heaven. Okay, you are now a creature of the immortal realm. Do you know what you want to do next? Li Bai said slowly to Emperor Annihilation. Sir, don't worry, I'll go right away. After saying that, Emperor Annihilation rushed towards the camp in the outer domain. Senior, wait, I'm with you. Emperor Chongtong said hurriedly. With the addition of the Chongtong Emperor and the Nirvana Emperor, the battlefield scale began to slowly tilt. With the passage of time, more and more great emperors began to gradually fall, and even the immortal realm gradually began to have great emperors fall. After all, not all great emperors can crush the great emperors of outer lands. Some emperors who are no longer at their peak and are close to Kukaki can fight like this, which is considered unbelievable. As for the armies of the two realms below, they were fighting horribly. The corpses of creatures from both realms were everywhere. The blood gathered into a river and flowed into the sky pendant, forming a bloody waterfall. The originally bottomless sky pendant, it was also gradually revealed as corpses piled up one after another. The entire vast universe has turned black and red, and is filled with the smell of blood. A rough calculation shows that the number of dead creatures in the two realms combined can equal all the creatures in the Kangtian fairy realm. There are hundreds of millions of creatures in a fairyland, and all of this happened in this short period of time. Countless immortal creatures, eyes red with tears, knelt on the ground and prayed constantly. Among these corpses were their lovers, relatives, and close friends. This is a battle between two realms. Even if our fairy realm wins in the end, We don't know how long it will take to heal the pain. Rejoice, this is a battlefield that takes place outside the eternal barrier. If it were in the fairyland itself, it would be a real loss of life. What we can do now is to keep praying for those fighting immortal creatures. May the emperors of the immortal realm triumph in the end, and the sages and heroes sleep forever. May the emperors of the immortal realm triumph in the end, and the sages and heroes sleep forever. Countless creatures shouted together. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 217. On the other side, in the Tianjiao battlefield, the young generations of the two worlds are fighting separately. Ha 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 ha, I killed another one, Lejun, now, you are one head behind me. Zhang Chang'an held the wheel of life and death in his hand and shouted excitedly. In this blood-filled battle, his reincarnation body is also constantly improving, and the breath of reincarnation spurts out. Humph, childish. Desolation and desolation. When Xuanhuan heard this, he said coldly, and then directly activated the desolate divine body. Under the blessing of the Desolate Sutra, he directly killed the two foreign geniuses. The rest of Lin Emperor, Xuanhuan Minjiao, Yu Huachan, and others were also covered in blood and had killed dozens of foreign geniuses. Tianjiao fights in a melee, and the 10 immortal realms are all divided into independent areas. After all, they are the most familiar with each other and can provide timely support. However, they have also lost hundreds of geniuses at this moment. For example, 4 of their former missionaries have fallen in the battle of geniuses. Damn it, how can the genius of their fairyland be so powerful? They are also saints, and we have no power to fight back. No, we can't do this. We must retreat first to attract them. When the time comes, we can directly use the moves our ancestors gave us to kill them. Lao Lu, I like it. Countless prodigies from the outer realm trembled as they looked at the prodigies from the immortal realm who were as if they had been given blood. Damn it, they want to run away, hurry up and chase them, we can't let them run away. Emperor Lin shouted. By the way, I still have something useless. Shui Yi, who had killed a genius, said suddenly. Then, she took out more than a dozen energy light balls from the space bracelet, which were the system spirits that Li Bai had given her before. She said that throwing them all out could kill a quasi-emperor, but she never had the chance to use them. Immediately, Sui I gave these light balls to Xuanhuan Minjiao and the others. Sister-in-law, what is this? Emperor Lin asked with great curiosity. In this ball of light, he could feel the extremely strong power of heaven, as if he was the proud one appointed by heaven. Oh, don't worry about it, throw it at them quickly. Shui Yi said hurriedly. Upon hearing this, Xuanhuan and the others stopped their pursuit, looked at the energy balls in their hands, and threw them towards the escaping outlander genius without thinking. Boom! In an instant, when the energy ball approached the genius of the outer domain, it exploded like a full blow from the God King. Countless prodigies from the outside world were turned into ashes without any preparation. They did not expect that the other party would be so ungrateful. Besides, generally speaking, at this level, life-saving things should be almost used. The horrific aftermath of the explosion also attracted the attention of countless creatures. Damn it, isn't there a battle between the geniuses over there? How come this energy fluctuation is like a battle between God Kings? Hang it, someone is cheating. 10 seconds later, on Sui Ai's side, all the geniuses from the outside world had been wiped out by them. Holy shit, auntie, what is this? Emperor Lin and others were stunned when they saw this scene. It's just a gadget given by my master. Shui Yi said slowly. Gadget? You call this a gadget? Sui Ai, if you have this thing, why didn't you take it out earlier? Xuanhuan Minjiao pouted and said. Hey, Sister Minjiao, I was so excited about killing just now that I forgot. Sister-in-law, is there anything else? No, there are only a dozen in total. Tisk, what a pity, I want to experience it again. Okay everyone, since the geniuses here have been eliminated by us, go help other immortal realms. Junwudao said slowly. No problem, let's go. Come on Shui, let's go to help the Qingtian immortal realm. I heard that they have a plum fairy with immortal bones in her eyebrows. I just want to take a look. Sister Minjiao, are you sure you just want to look at it and not be greedy for other people's beauty? Hee, you understand. Immediately, everyone dispersed to other areas and started fighting. Damn it, why are you here? The emperor's son of the Li family in the Imperial Immortal Domain said in surprise after seeing Zhang Changken. Of course, we have already killed all the geniuses from the outside world. Zhang Changken said calmly. What the hell, are you, cheating? What kind of cheating, invincible cheating? You have so much to worry about, do you want to help? Yes, of course, why not? Of course, these are just small episodes and cannot stir up much waves. The most important thing is the battle between the great emperors. And in another independent space, the Emperor of Time and this mythical emperor have already fought countless moves, and basically all their trump cards have been revealed. Both of them have reached the point where they are at the end of their rope. At this moment, both of them were covered in bruises and horrific scars. Haha, as expected of the 11 Forbidden Avenues, the body of time can actually compete with me in my domain. The mythical emperor of the outer realm said extremely seriously. I thought that when I came to my own domain, even if I couldn't kill the time emperor, I could still suppress him all the time. But now it seems that I have thought too much. In these countless battles, I have been suppressed. It's him. The clown is myself. Really? You think too highly of yourself. You are only a myth of 9 forbidden avenues, while I have 11. You can't compare with me in this respect. The Emperor of Time said sarcastically. So what? At our level, unless there are 12 forbidden avenues, what is the difference between 9 and 11? The Myth Emperor of the Outer Realm said slowly. At the myth level, or even the immortal level, the forbidden avenues have only become auxiliary and cannot control the situation. Really? Then let's see the difference. The Emperor of Time smiled and said slowly. After seeing the smile of the Emperor of Time, the great Emperor instantly felt a trace of uneasiness. Boom. At this moment, the Emperor of Time pushed the body of time to the extreme. The 11 groups of forbidden avenues on his head returned to his body, and the immortal sword in his hand kept making a buzzing sound. See if you can take this sword. The long river of time appears. The Emperor of Time roared, and in an instant, a long colorful river flowed out, and the figure of the Emperor of Time also disappeared in this space. Endless power of time constantly tore this space apart, and at the same time, a very weak and supreme breath was transmitted into the soul of the Outer Realm Myth Emperor. Damn, how is this possible? This is a ray of supreme power. You are hiding your incompetence. You don't be a fool. The Outer Realm Myth Emperor shouted with a horrified face and rapid breathing. He never thought that the Emperor of Time, who had fought with him for so long, had actually touched the threshold of the supreme power. It was even more uncomfortable than eating shit. At this moment, he felt like a fool. The other party was obviously playing with him before, but he didn't know it. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 218. Hee, this is the result of my countless reincarnations. Originally, I planned to use this move to deal with the great Emperor of Silence, but you jumped out. I had no choice but to deal with you first. In the long river of time, the voice of the Emperor of Time came out slowly. Damn it, damn it, damn it. The Myth Emperor of the Outer Realm kept roaring madly at this space, and countless terrifying moves were constantly being used like machine guns. Remember, the one who kills you is the Emperor of Time. The gods have given me the power to destroy the era and the eternal years. The words of the Emperor of Time seemed to be filled with the judgment of the gods on this great emperor, which was the judgment of death. Swish! When the words fell, countless sword lights broke through the air in the long river of time. In an instant, this myth emperor of the outer realm was pierced through by sword lights, and he had no time to block the sword lights. No. No, it's impossible. I am a myth, immortal and indestructible. Stop me. Immortal and indestructible, haha, you think too highly of yourself and myths. The mocking words of the Emperor of Time constantly stimulated the nerves of this great emperor. He didn't want to die. He still had many things to complete. He hadn't touched the threshold of the Supreme. How could he fall like this? Great filth, I am willing to sacrifice everything, summon a ray of your true body, and bless myself. Suppressing the pain, this foreign myth emperor's eyes were full of madness. At this moment, he directly sacrificed his own great emperor origin in exchange for a short-term increase in strength. He was confident that as long as he was at the same level as the Emperor of Time, he would never lose. Even if he died, he would never let the Emperor of Time have an easy time. However, at this moment, he found that he had sacrificed everything without any response. The filth abandoned him, yes, abandoned him. What made him most desperate was that he was still. That's right, the long river of time directly made the time flow of the space still. This was the domain he created. If one prospers, all prosper. If one suffers, all suffer. No. No, filth, why, spirit of time, why are you? This sentence kept echoing in the mind of the outer domain myth emperor. There is no way. The Emperor of Time and Li Bai have given too much. What's more, the Emperor of Time is the body of time, and he is also my offspring. As for the filth you mentioned, look at him now. Besides, he is just the heavenly Deo of your outer domain. If he can show up, he would have come long ago. So, sorry, you must die. A strange voice fell into the mind of the outer domain myth emperor. Boom. 10 seconds later, the long river of time disappeared, and this domain space was directly annihilated. So far, the myth has fallen. The Emperor of Time also reappeared in front of all living beings. After using this move, the Emperor of Time looked extremely pale, and a mouthful of blood gushed out of his mouth. This move had already damaged his origin. Of course, he could kill the Outer Realm Myth Emperor without this move, but it would take an endless amount of time. Look, the Emperor of Time has appeared. Where is that Outer Realm Myth Emperor? Could it be, he has already fallen? Emperor of Time, how are you? The Void Emperor, who was still fighting, roared. You too lost, that old thing is dead. The Emperor of Time rarely showed a sly smile. At this moment, the two domains fought, and finally the first myth fell. When the creatures of the immortal realm heard the Emperor of Time admit that the outer realm myth had fallen, the cheers were like waves, shaking the sky and the earth, and surging continuously. Even the eternal barrier seemed to fall into a resonant frequency. You know, the fall of the myth emperor and the fall of an ordinary emperor are not the same thing. Now it has become the three myths of the Emperor of Time fighting the two from the outside world. It is only a matter of time before the remaining two fall. Emperor of Time, awesome, you are our first emperor of the immortal realm who killed a myth. Great, the situation on the battlefield has also quietly reversed at this moment. Emperor of Time, how is it, can you still fight? Xuanhuan human emperor asked hurriedly. Don't worry, of course you can, this little damage is nothing, I will come to help you two old guys right away. After the Emperor of Time finished speaking, he rushed into the battlefield of the two myths, Void and Human Emperor. On the other side, Li Bai, who was watching all this, said with a smile. See, a myth has already fallen in the outer domain. You should also know the situation. Don't you want to take action? Are you really going to be a Ninja Turtles? Haha, it's not our turn yet. If you are afraid of death, just say it. Why are you talking so noble? Forget it, let me guess, next, is it someone from Yuanxu? Li Bai raised his eyebrows and said slowly. Yes, you guessed it right. Boom. The next moment, in the outer domain, the aura of 5 supreme figures surged throughout the vast universe. All the immortal emperors who were fighting spurted out blood at the same time, and their momentum suddenly weakened. The aura of these 5 supreme figures rushed directly to their immortal emperors, so that they had no time to stop them in the first time. Fortunately, there was a life-saving item given by Li Bai that day, otherwise, this attack would have killed at least a dozen emperors. On the other side, Supreme was fighting crazily with the great Sun Tathagata. After feeling the breath of Supreme, he directly tore this independent world apart, and then retreated to the back of Tianzhu. That's right, his mission is just to hold back the great Sun Tathagata. Sorry, Donor Li, the poor monk couldn't kill him right away. The great Sun Tathagata said to Li Bai in shame. It's okay. Your strength is already between the two. Don't worry, even if you fail to kill him, my promise will still be valid after this battle. Li Bai shook his head and said. Donor Li, what you said is that you look down on the poor monk. Okay, stop pretending, I still don't understand your strength. But, Donor Li, your words are so hurtful. Then, the supreme figure from the outer realm slowly said. Haha, you damn bald donkey, are you sure you still want to help the immortal realm? Donor, monks don't lie. The poor monk said that this cause and effect must be ended. The great Sun Tathagata said seriously. Okay, in that case, today, there will be one less Buddha in the Buddhist kingdom. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 219. Damn it, what's going on? Did the ancient tribe take action? Emperor Facian said solemnly. No, it's the Supreme of Yuanxu. Their momentum is countless times stronger than the Supreme of the outside world. Qingxian stared into the distance and said with difficulty. Under the gaze of countless creatures, 5 creatures with a height of 10,000 feet slowly appeared in the universe, like the ruler of the era, making people unable to help but surrender. Their appearance is not much different from the creatures in the fairyland. The biggest difference is that these 5 creatures have only one eye. In this eye, it seems that countless worlds are being swallowed up by Yuanxu step by step. Yuanxu creatures. Li Bai said lightly. Li Bai, long time no see. One of the Yuanxu creatures slowly spoke, and the two seemed like old friends who had not seen each other for thousands of years. Tisk tisk, I didn't expect that after the eternal era, you have become the running dogs of the ancient clan. How pathetic. Li Bai's tone was full of sarcasm. Shut up, Li Bai, you know shit, do you think we want to? A group of Yuanxu creatures immediately retorted. So, you are afraid of the ancient clan, but not afraid of me. Li Bai stared at the 5 Yuanxu creatures and said slowly. Humph, I say it again, we Yuanxu just signed a contract with the ancient clan, and we did not submit to the ancient clan. We Yuanxu are still Yuanxu, and we still belong to us. Oh, contract, tell me, I'm very curious, what kind of contract did you sign? Li Bai was immediately interested when he heard this. Sorry, no comment. That's right, no comment. Besides, why should we tell you? Don't forget that you have an irreconcilable hatred with our Yuanxu, the ancient clan, the spirit clan, and the Ming clan. Therefore, it is understandable that we help the outside world. The outsider in the middle said sarcastically. Ha 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 ha, this is definitely one of the biggest jokes I have ever heard. If you really want to kill me so much, why didn't you dare to do it before? Why did you choose to do it here? It's just a fox taking advantage of the tiger's power and the dog relying on the power of others. And you should also know very well that you can't be killed. Li Bai said with a smile, as if everything was under control. Enough, Li Bai. Enough? It seems that you have forgotten the pain I gave you before, or do you think that I have something left in Yuanxu, so I dare not kill you? Li Bai's words gradually became cold, and at the same time, a far superior momentum swept over the 5 people, and an infinitely close breath of death spread in the hearts of the 5 people, like falling into an ice cellar. However, it was offset by the creatures of the ancient clan, the spirit clan, and the Ming clan in a flash. Li Bai, we have said that your opponent is us. Oh, that is to say, as long as it is not me, you can do it, right? Li Bai was not angry at all at this moment, but was extremely calm. This was something they had brought to the door. Such an obedient Li Bai made the ancient clan feel at a loss, but still said firmly. Well, that's right. Remember what you said, this is what you said, if you regret it, don't blame me for killing your ancient clan myself, you also know that if I really determine something, no one can stop it. Li Bai smiled and showed a row of white teeth, and his plain words were full of threats. You. Suddenly, a bad premonition surged from their hearts. This Li Bai was definitely holding back a lot of bad water. Strange, if Li Bai doesn't do it himself, then, who else can do it? I don't know either. Humph, in my opinion, Li Bai is just pretending. Now, who has the ability to help the fairyland? After hearing this, the other fairyland emperors immediately thought of something, and then countless emperors were so excited. Because they will soon see their ancestors and the peak of the fairyland. It's time to make the whole world tremble. My lord, I'm finally going to use that trick. Ha 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 ha, I can finally see the real Qing Emperor. Not only that, there are also, Fan Tian Emperor, Bian Empress, Eternal Legend Empress. A bunch of idiots, get ready to accept death with trembling. Then, Li Bai waved his hand, and his eyes shot out a ray of divine light that seemed to travel through ancient and modern times, and an inexplicable breath began to surge. Then, in the sky of the 10 immortal realms, as if blessed by heaven, various blessings and visions came one after another. The long river of time that had just disappeared appeared again, and this time, the backs of countless creatures slowly emerged in it. Buzz. An ancient and primitive force also attacked from another place, and an extremely huge bronze door slowly appeared in front of everyone, and the breath of reincarnation continued to rush across the heavens and the worlds. Creak. The door of reincarnation slowly opened. This time, it was no longer like before, only opening a crack, but opening all of it, and a grey vortex appeared in the door of reincarnation. And in the entire vast universe, countless stars suddenly shone, and the light pierced through the darkness and illuminated the entire vast universe. A formation covering the entire universe slowly appeared, and countless primordial ancient runes continued to appear. The aura of the primordial universe came back, as if at this moment the heavens and the worlds had returned to the primordial era. Is this going to be a big move? I don't know, I always feel that something terrifying is about to happen. On the other side, those dark eyes almost dropped their jaws after seeing this scene. This is the aura of the primordial universe, the laws of the primordial universe, the primordial universe. What on earth is Li Bai going to do? And all the living beings, including the armies of the 2 worlds that were fighting, and the emperor, also stopped at this moment, raised their heads, and looked at these strange phenomena with horror in their eyes. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 220. At this moment, an extremely cold voice came from Li Bai's mind. Li Bai, you have exceeded the contract, stop it quickly, otherwise, we will directly erase the past and future of the fairyland. He, I think, have you forgotten that there is a rule in that contract that I personally added? Li Bai said lightly. Are you sure you want to use it? Don't forget that you only have one chance. Are you sure you want to waste it on such an insignificant thing? Of course, otherwise, do you think I'm joking and playing house? Anyway, I will use it sooner or later. Besides, if I use it earlier, won't you be relieved earlier? Okay, Li Bai, I hope you can abide by the contract. Don't worry, I will definitely abide by the contract well. Li Bai said with a smile. Hearing this, the mysterious man always felt that Li Bai had something to say, but he didn't think much about it. They had long wanted Li Bai to use this condition in the contract quickly. After all, this condition has been restraining them. That's good, I wish you success. After feeling that the creature had really left, Li Bai said coldly. Haha, supervisor, this contract is the greatest shame of my life, Li Bai. It won't be long before you are ready to clean your necks and wait for my return. You all have to be buried with Xiaju. Then, Li Bai put this matter on the agenda in his mind. He felt that he couldn't wait any longer. Then, in his heart, he said to the 7 awakened clones. Everyone, our plan is about to begin. Okay, I'll go right away. I understand. Ha ha ha, great, I'm dying of suffocation, I can't stay in this broken place of the eternal upper realm for 11 minutes. Is it finally started, my lord? I've been unhappy with those guys for a long time. This time, we will definitely overthrow the entire origin and usher in an era that belongs only to us. All the secrets of the origin are about to surface, and this road finally sees a little hope. Then, 7 voices slowly sounded in the heart, without exception, the tone was full of excitement. After that, a wisp of Li Bai's soul directly traveled through time and space and came to an extremely strange place. All the materials, breath, and laws of this place are still in the primordial era, as if forgotten, but more like a caged place. Li Bai, why the hell are you here? Damn, Li Bai, is your plan finally going to start? Is it fake? When the 6 old men saw Li Bai appear, they couldn't wait to say that the realm of each of them was unpredictable. Myths and even supreme ones were like ants in front of them. Even if they were not pioneers or explorers, they were almost the same. Well, you guys get ready. The plan is really going to start. After all, it has been brewing for countless epochs. There is no point in dragging it on. Li Bai said firmly. Ha 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 ha, great, Li Bai, do you know how long I have been waiting for you to say this? From the beginning to now, we once thought you were going to give up. Sorry, some unexpected things happened in the middle. Although there were some small accidents, it did not affect the whole plan. That's good, that's good. Origin, this time, I must kill you. On the other side, the eternal barrier. Li Bai also sent the signal of starting the plan to countless places at the same time, and the responses he received were all impatient and excited. They had been brewing for countless epochs for this plan, and they had suffered all kinds of humiliation, just for Li Bai's words. After doing all this, Li Bai turned his attention to the present. It's time to deal with the outside world. In the name of Bai, call. Taisha Guardian. Li Bai's voice penetrated the heavens and the worlds. In an instant, rays of light continued to emerge in this formation, and in the light, figures flashed in them, and they crossed the long river of time and stepped into the present. Huh? How did I resurrect? This is impossible. Damn, really, I'm resurrected? The emperors who had fallen for countless years slowly appeared in front of countless creatures. Wait, who are these? Why do I feel so familiar, as if I have seen them in the records? No. Impossible, absolutely impossible, aren't they all fallen emperors? These are all the great emperors who fell in our fairyland before. I must be dreaming, everything before must be a dream, or just kill me. Mom, I want to go home, it's too scary. At this time, Xuanhuan and Xuanhuan, after seeing the face of a great emperor appear, roared in horror. Invincible, ancestor. Huh? My descendant of the Jun family, am I really resurrected? After feeling the breath of Xuanhuan and Xuanhuan, the great emperor said blankly that he was the long-dead founding ancestor of the Jun family, Xuanhuan, a mythical emperor. Damn, isn't that the ancestor of our Zhang family, the origin ancestor? Origin ancestor, I am Zhang Sheng. I am a descendant of the Zhang family. Strange, haven't I fallen for countless years? Is all this a dream? There is no reason. Then, one by one, the emperors were recognized by their family members. We ancestor, I am not dreaming, I finally see you. At this time, many emperors cried like a child. What is going on? And what about these foreign emperors? Xuanhuan asked in great confusion. At this moment, they can be sure that they are really resurrected? Don't ask me, I don't know how long I have fallen. That's right, it must have been 2 eras. Forget it, even if it is a dream, seeing my descendants is the last wish.